Hey guys, I hope you're having a great morning. I wanted to hop on and talk to you guys about a scripture verse out of Psalms this morning, and it goes like this. The Lord directs the steps of the godly. He delights in every detail of their lives. I want to tell you guys today that God cares about those little details in your life, but there's an order in which He helps His plans to come forth in our personal lives. I don't know about you guys, but I'm a kind of future-oriented person. I like to think ahead. I like to know big picture. I like to know what the plan is going to be. I'm not super spontaneous in the moment, which can have its setback sometimes. And one thing that God really had to start working with me on when I became a Christian was to really trust Him with being in the moment with things with Him. Not to say it isn't good to plan ahead, it definitely is. But this scripture verse was something that He brought me to. When I was a younger Christian, He said, "Jill, I direct your steps." And so here's the deal, you guys. Often God's plans for our life are so bigger and so much better than we could ever imagine that He couldn't show it to you. He couldn't show you the big picture. He couldn't show you everything that was going to happen because, number one, that does not facilitate faith on our behalf. And number two, we wouldn't believe it a lot of the time. It would be too overwhelming for us if God were to really show us how big His plans for our lives are a lot of the time. So what He does is He shows us the next step, just like the scripture verse told us. So I want you guys to imagine that there's a staircase of your life, and you're ascending and you're going step by step, walking into your destiny. Well, so often what we're guilty of as Christians a lot of the time is God will tell us a word. He'll say, hey, we need you to work on this area of your life. This area of your life is something that you need to work on this. And so often we're waiting on big picture. We're waiting on the master blueprint for our life. And we never take that next step that God has showed us to take. Because a lot of the times the steps that we think we need to take are very different from the steps that God is trying to get us to take. For example, maybe your dream is to start a business one day. So maybe the next step that you think you need to take is to get a business permit, business license or something, and maybe God's next step that He's trying to get you to take is you need to eat healthy, because you can't sustain something if you're constantly having health problems in your life, and I've got to get you healthy first. This is why, you guys, it's so important to remember that God's ways are not our ways. And so when He shows you a next step in your life, it may not make any sense in the natural to your brain, because you see, this is my point that I've got to get to. This is the place that I'm trying to get to. And God says, I have a way that I want to get you there. But what you've got to do is we've got to take it step by step. We've got to ascend that staircase one step at a time with God, and it may look and feel a little different than we think it will, but often God works on us in very practical ways to prepare us for the promise, because those things that feel like such a big deal to us, the paperwork we got to get done, the logistical things, God can line that up in a moment, but He's working on our character. He's working on making sure that we have a firm foundation to build upon first in our lives. So I want to tell you guys today, if you haven't heard from God in a while, if you're not sure what the next step is in your life, go back to the last thing He told you to work on. Have you done it yet? If not, maybe that's why you haven't heard from Him recently. And so I want to encourage you guys, don't be discouraged when you don't see how the big picture of your life is going to fit together yet. God cares about your dreams. He cares about the plan that He has for your life, but He's not going to show you all at once. He's going to take you step by step. I hope you guys have a great morning. I'll talk to you soon.